Good morning, everybody. My name is Miguel Cisneros. I work for Honeywell Homes, now Residio. I'm based in Miami, in the office of Miami, Florida. I'm part of the technical support and training group. And first of all, thank you for your time. We're gonna do this webinar. It's gonna be about Vista 20P, an overview. We're gonna touch a little bit of everything here, real quick, because for the time being, no, we can go really in many details. But let me start it from saying that the Vista 20P, the Vista 21IP, and the Vista 48LL are like triples, like twins. They basically, the way the programming and the devices are, they're using the same ones all the time. They have a little differences between them. Mostly it's in the programming of the song and the song's description. That's a little different, but basically they use the same communicator, the same expanders, zones, type type zones. They are all the same, and also the another difference between the Vista, those Vista is the Vista 21. It has already a internet connection, which the Vista 20 and the Vista 48 they don't have that. That's the main difference between them. So, okay, let's go. We're gonna start. Hold on, okay, this is a little the agenda. What we're gonna see in this hour of the webinar. The introduction. We're gonna see a little bit of summary of connections, the ECP addressing, and the programming locations, different programming locations, the commands you program Vista 20P. And then we're going to start with the features of this Vista 20P. The Vista 20P, it has a 48 zones maximum in any configuration, meaning combining wire and wireless zones. From these 48 zones maximum, 8 are wire zones standard that are in the panel. We can double the zones, make it around 15 zones, wire zones, using the zone doubling. It means we can double first the zone number one. You never double the zone number one. It's strictly used for a fire device. But you start doubling from zone number 2 to zone number 8, meaning when you double it, like zone number 2, the double zone is going to be number 10. If you double zone number 3, the double zone is going to be 11, and you can keep going up to the zone number 8, which is going to be zone number 16. Or you can use the expansions, the 4219 or the 4229. We're going to see a little bit later how they work. You can get up to maximum of 40 zones, extra zones. So meaning each expander can hold on up to 8 zones. So you can use a maximum of 5 expanders. Or you can using the wireless receiver, you can go up to also 40 wireless zones. So meaning with 40 plus 8, which is the one on the panel, you go up to 48 zones maximum. Also, this panel has a dedicated 16 zones, extra 16 zones, which is used for the key fob, which are not included in the 48 zones, but it will use points on the receiver just in case. Each key fob use 4 zones, up to 4 zones. You can you can program the 4834-4 key fog, and then use 4 zones, or you just can program 2 or 1 or 3 zones. But they use each one you can use up to 4 zones, meaning you can use up to 4 key fob on this panel, totaling a maximum of 16 16 zones. This panel also has 16 programmable outputs. Those are the relays, and you use that using the relay expanders, the 4204 or the 4229. You have this panel has also a 2 onboard programming trigger outputs inside the panel. We're going to see later a little bit of the graphic where is it located. You can put up to 4 touchscreen AUI consoles or keypads, which is the tuxedos. Those are the touchscreen keypads. It has also a 12 zone list, which are already set up on the by default, by factory. It's already come out with 12 zone lists, which you can use it later on, just mainly to use your relays or scheduling. Different zone, like zone number 3, it's a chime by zone list. Zone list number 4 is across zones, etc. Right? You got a page support. It's fully downloadable via the Compass. I don't know if you guys know what is Compass. Compass is a software that Honeywell uses and provides. It's free. You can download this software in my webtech.honeywell.com, and what it does is you can connect remotely from anywhere to your panel. How you connect it? There's 2 ways: either by the phone line, the analog phone line, which in this case you gotta use another device. It's the modem CIA, which is sold by Honeywell also. Or you can use the different communicators, the IP communicators or the GPS communicators. Through that, you can connect from anywhere to your panels using your MAC address, the MAC address of the communicator, and then you can program or delete programming or add or modify your programming remotely. We're going to see a little bit of that later on. Okay, fully downloadable. A handy events log that you can see via in the keypad or on Compass, which is it stores. Well, this is another different. For example, the 48 uses you can see up to 254 event log, which is what it is you can see in the keypad the events of the alarm, in this case the last 100 events of the alarm, on the panel alarm. You can see it on your keypad. You don't have to get a report from the central station. You can see at the moment in the keypad. It has user code authority levels up to 5. This panel uses 4 or 10-digit account number. That's for the central station. Adenco 4-digit ID. That's the common one we use. It's SIA compliant. It has a voice chime. It has auto state arming. It has step arming. IP downloading. The IP downloading is the Compass downloading. Another feature is the battery saver. This you can enable battery saver in this panel. Automatic period test setup. You got true partitioning. Real-time clock scheduling, so you can put the real time on the panel. Double zone doubling, we saw that. And from zone number 2 to number 8, They can be designed as end of the line resistor, or normally open or normally closed in the programming. So number one is dedicated only for a fire device. Another feature, the AAV monitor zone. That's a zone type 81, monitor zone type 12, carbon monoxide zone type 14. Those are zones that are already programmed, already set up by default, by factory, which we can use it at any time. And also you can configure your own zone. Those are dedicated for zone in zone 90 through zone 93. It has a fire zone reset and function key relay. Those are two other zone types. It has the function key programming in command 57, which is the four. And if you see in your keypad, there is like 4 buttons from on your left side, which usually come with some stickers like police, like ambulance. Or we call it like programming key functions. We call the one at the top is going to be letter A. The one below that is going to be B, C, or D. There are 4 like square buttons. We can program those buttons as a shortcuts, for example, for panic or to show the time on the screen, etc. Those are the keypad macros, also 4. Those are the keypad macros, 4 buttons. It has a page share delay timer. You can set it up in command 172. It has the anti-takeover options in command 88. And those are some of the features of this panel. And then we're gonna see here we're gonna see the control panel comparison between several VISTA panels. The VISTA20P, the 48 and the 21, it's almost the same, versus the VISTA15P and the VISTA10P. This is just like a summary. Zones up to 48, standard wire zones 8, double zones 15, maximum wire expansion 40, maximum wireless 40. The key fob zones are 16 key fob. The outputs of relays up to 16. The triggers 2, partition 2 plus lobby, which is the common partition. Event log. The user codes, etc. The chime by zone is available, and the extend support, we don't use that anymore in any Vista. Those are like kind of obsolete. We don't use the extend support devices anymore. This panel meet all the SIA and ANSI standards codes, which are listed on the screen right now. All these panels meet those standards, like 60-second delays, exit delay, restart, 30 seconds entry delay, etc. You can see all of them on the screen. Some of the reason we mentioned this, because some of the panels they don't meet those standards, which causes a lot of calls from the central station, like false alarms, a lot of false alarms. And then this panel, they meet all of them, all the standards, so it won't happen with the Vista panels. We're going to see a little bit of wiring and connections. This is basically the graphic of the Vista 20P. You can see from left to right, like I don't have the well, number the terminals from 1 up to 20. That's the one. Actually, it's 24, but we're gonna see here the up to 20. The last 4 are for the phone line. But basically here, number 1, number 2 is the power. It's AC power, so it doesn't matter the polarity. It could be positive or negative, doesn't matter. 3 and 4 are dedicated for the alarm output, like a siren or anything. And then starting from 4 to 7, that's what we call the ECP bus. That's where everything, like all the keypads, all the expanders are connected here. They have polarity, so always number 4 is the negative, number 5 the positive, and 6 are the data coming in from different devices, and 7 are data coming out. In terminal number 8, we got number 8 and number 9, which is the zone number 1, dedicated for it's a fire zone. It doesn't mean that you can install another device, not necessarily a fire zone, but it's dedicated for a fire zone, because you can even, it's dedicated, like for example, for smoke detectors. You can install up to 16 small smoke detectors here, and what it does is gonna, if any smoke detector trigger the alarm, it's gonna reset it automatically. That's why it's this zone is dedicated for a wire devices. Hold on 1 second, please. Okay, number 10, 11 is zone number 2. Number 13, 12 and 13, zone number 3, and then starting from the terminal number 12, zone number 3, you share a common terminal, and then you go on up to zone number 20, and then from there we have 4 more terminals, which are, as I told you, it's for the phone line. Okay, this is the 20P and 48 LA, and this is the 21P IP, which the main difference is here in the top right, top left, the RJ45 connector, which is the IP, the internet, which the other one doesn't have it. So this panel can go to the internet right away. It doesn't need any other device, like any other communicator, like the other ones. And then all the other ones are the same terminals from 1 to 24, and the zones are the same. 1 and 2 is AC, and then 3 and 4 is for the output, the outside bell, anything you want to put, any output. 4, 5, 6, 7. It's for the, we call the ECP bus, and everything is the same, right? It's very important in these panels. It's very important that the panel it can give you a maximum amount of 600 milliamperes. So when you start installing your stuff, it's very important, your devices, it's very important to make sure you don't go over the 600 milliamperes. Otherwise, you're gonna have to put install a supplementary power supply, like we can see on the screen. And then we have an example, like if you got like 4 keypads, each one is 20, use up to 120 megaamperes, so it goes up to 480 milliamperes just using the keypad. And then if you add like 3, for example, 3 motion detectors, you add another 75, and you add 4 smoke detectors, you're using another 260 milliamperes, totally 815 amperes. What's going to happen here, you already went over the 600 milliamperes, so the panel is going to give you a lot of trouble. It's going to give you a lot of errors, a lot of miscommands, etc. That's why you got to add, in this case, you got to add a supplementary power supply. here is the, like for example, the model number, right? This is happening all three Vista, what we're talking about right now, the VISTA21IP, the VISTA40LA, and the VISTA20P. It's happening in all of them. So this is very, very, very important to keep in mind in all installations. This is like a little table that you can download in this website. We call the calculator. Then that's where you put all your devices. They give you exactly how many milliamperes you're going to use each device. You put the amount of devices, and it's going to calculate for you the total amount of milliamperes of what you're going to use in your installation. Okay, this is a summary of the connections. Give me 1 second, please. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Like for example, zone number 1, supervisors, end of the line resistors. These are normally the different kind of connection that this panel uses. The recommended one is the one on green with the resistor at the end of the line. We always recommend use a resistor at the end of the line because the zones need to be supervised. Otherwise, it won't be supervised. So what's the meaning of having an alarm, right? This is zone 1 and zone 2 are two kind of zones supervised with a resistor of 2K. And zone 3 and zone 4 are normally closed and supervised and normally open and supervised. As you can see, there's no resistor at the end. So it's very easy for an intruder to just like breach your zone from like for example here for 12 to 13. They just run a cable between them, and then it's gonna they can do the alarm they're never gonna trick because you are for the panel nothing is happening because you got a cable in between those two and in between the terminal. So zone number 3 is gonna be for the panel is gonna be always armed, even though they can open the window, whatever zone is this number 3, they open a window, a door, and just putting a breach here, panel is not gonna notice that the door was open or the window was open. That's why we never recommend to don't use the resistors and the outer line of the zone. This is okay. This is the zone doubling. What it makes doubling and for the panel to know which zone are doubling is because we use 2 other kind of resistors for the low zones. 3K resistor for the for the high zones at 2.6K resistors. That's what makes the panel knows that you doubling zones, right? Those are here is on the right hand side the zone pairs. If you double zone number 2, it's going to open number 10. If you double zone number 3, it's going to open 11. And so you can go on up to zone number 8, that is going to open zone 16. We always recommend when you double zone also, use the resistor at the end of the line, not on the panel. A lot of people use the resistor in the panel. We don't recommend that because it's easy to just breach the zone and then the alarm is going to be opened, you know. We always put the resistor at the end of the device. This is okay, here we got the other 5 terminals. We didn't see in the diagram. 21, 22, 23, 24, those are for the telco, for the phone line. And 25, it's for air ground. Okay, this is for the analog line. There is an issue with the voice over IP, the new telephone way, the telephone communication way that it's replacing the analog line and offering for almost every cable company now, telephone company. Just to let you know, this VOP IP, voice over IP, doesn't work with the panels. It's very inconvenient to use this kind of phone line, because it's not. First of all, it's unregulated. It's not. It's when the panel sends the signal to the central station, it sends it incorrectly most of the time. So that's why we don't recommend use this. It could work 1 day, 2 days, but then eventually it's gonna start giving you problems, a lot of problems. So we don't recommend. We don't use voice over IP communication for these 3 panels. In general, for all VISTA panels, we don't recommend use the voice over IP communication. You know, it sends the wrong like VoIP frequencies are not the same as an analog. That's why it sends the wrong communication, the wrong signals most of the time. We're gonna see a little bit of accessory for these panels. The song expander. This is the song expander 4219. So you can add for up to 8 songs in each device. Those songs are uses the 2K resistor. If they all connect to the ECP bus, remember the terminal 4, 5, 6, and 7, and they have a tamper enclosed. They got a dip switch, so in case they open, it's gonna send an alarm. You can use up to 5 of this, and then starting from all accessories, they have an address. So you gotta make sure you put the right address for the keypad, for the expanders. In this case, we got a little table. If you're gonna use song from song 9 to 16, the address on this expander is gonna be address number 7, which you can see they all come with a little label on the box. You just go to, like, for example, address number 6, and you're gonna see the switch number 2 is gonna be off, 3 off, 4 off, 5 on, and 6 on. That's how you're gonna put it here. The little switches, I don't know, you see it here, the little switches. You set up that way, and then you got this your address number 7. And then you can now open zones 9 to 16. If you are using more of these expanders, then you gotta set up the switches with the rest for the addresses, right? If you use address number 8, so it's a different set of switches. Address number 9, number 10, and 11. Those are the 5 you can use up to 5 song expanders. So those are the 5 addresses. This is one of the song expanders. This is the other one. They work the same. The only difference is this song expander. It comes with two relays here on your left, plus your 8 song expanders, and the addressing is the same. They use 2K end of the line resistors. It also connects to the ECP bus, and it has a tamper enclosure. Very important here, like with your expander, you do not use the carbon monoxide detector, the smoke detectors. You can't use it on the expanders. The hardware smoke detectors, you gotta be installed straight in the panel. You can't run it from an expander. And then the 2 relays are dry form, so they don't emit power. And then you program the relays on command 29 and command 80. This is another accessory, another expander, but this is a relay module expander, the 4204-1, which is it gives you 4 relays, additional relays. Same way, it has same way you gotta address this first in order to the panel to know, to recognize it, and then in this case it's from 12 to 15. The addresses on the Vista 21. This is from the zone expander for 7 to 11, and then this is from 12 to 15 of the relay modules. Same thing, connects to the ECP bus. They have a tamper enclosure, and there are 4 relays, 4-seat drive. It could be normally open, closed, or normally closed. And they all program the command 79, the command 80 of the programming of the panel. We have also, we can install the wireless receiver, which is, we use this for all the wireless devices. We have several kind of 5800 wireless receiver, which is the 5801, the ENL, the ENM, and the ENH. What it means, L is low, supports up to only 8 zones and 8 wireless zones. The medium support 16 wireless zones, and the high supports the total zones of the. In this case, it supports up to 40 zones. So we always recommend to get a high one, DH, because even though you got probably, if you're going to install wireless devices, you're not gonna go over 40, but you're gonna probably go over 8 zones, and then you are ready to use the other ones in case you expand your installation, right? If you install a low one, it's gonna support only up to 8 zones, and then if you're gonna expand your installation, then you're gonna have to buy another one. So it's better to, since they go buy the high one. We have the AC, which is the commercial one. The commercial one is a little powerful. You have a little more of a distance. It covers a little more distance. The wireless, the frequency, the RF. Also, this one, it connects to the ECP bus. And then the address, since all this Vista, they can use up to only one of these. So it comes with address 00 already by default, by factory, so we don't have to change anything. We just gotta run the cables from the receiver to the ECP bus on the panel, and then that's it. It's already set up to work. This is a little how much the receiver covers, because there is so many mistakes, because there is a receiver and there is a repeater, like you see right here. The RX is the receiver, the RP is the receiver, the repeater and the receiver. The receiver, it can go up to 60 meters or almost 200 foot, 196 to be exact. That's the range that it's gonna cover, and whatever is outside. In this case, we got two devices outside. They're not in the frequency. They're not gonna communicate with the receiver, but all the other ones, they're gonna communicate with the receiver. It's a typical example, and people we got the receiver here, and then they think the repeater is gonna go and cover the other repeater, which is not true. This is not the way it works. The is going to be in the range of the receiver in order to work. Like for example, this is a no, right? These devices over here, they're never going to be connected. That's not the way. The way it works is this. You got the receiver in the middle, and then the repeaters is going to go on the range of the receiver. The repeater is going to go on the range of the receiver, which is the blue line, and then from each repeater, it has its own range, and then it's going to cover all the other devices. Oops, sorry, all the other devices, right? This is how the repeaters work in these panels. There's another accessories like the communicators, GMS communicators, IP communicators, dual communicators. This is mainly if you're gonna connect this to, if you're gonna use Total Connect or you're gonna be connected to AlarmNet, then you need to use a communicator. We got three kinds of communicator. The GSM communicator, which is only GSM. We have the different models, GSM V4G, or the X4G, or the LP5 4G. No hardware landline needed. As you can see, you connected. They have their own power supply, and also they have a battery here just in case for backup. The support download over everything, all the download is over the GSM. They all include like 24-hour check-in. It got powered by a transformer and a battery, and then it's a 256 bits encryption. This is only the GSM. We have the IP option, which for the panel like the 48, like for the 48 LA and the 20P panels, they don't have the IP option like the VISTA20P. So you can install a communicator, which is this one. It could be the 7847i. That's the model of this communicator. It supports upload and downloads. It also has a 6 external trigger inputs. It's also a 256-bit encryption. And then this one requires a high-speed internet connection in the house, or whatever is whatever you install this, you need a internet connection, right? Here is over here you connect the internet, and over here you connect the power. You power up to either to the power supply, and then the other ones to the ECP bus. And we have a combination, an IP and GSM dual communicators. This uses the GSM, which is a SIM card, and also it has the internet connection, right? And also has the backup here. This is also a 256 encrypted. It needs a high-speed internet also, and it can work as a GSM only or IP only, or both. So this one, you can use this one also in the 21IP, even though it has the 21IP has internet, you can use it as a backup for GSM. Okay, those are the different kind of accessories. Keypads, they use all kind of keypads. Alphanumeric keypad, the most common one is 6160. 6160V with voice. We have different colors. They have all kind of keypads. Fixed English keypad. Those are the one with only one line on the screen, which is make more difficult for programming. That's why we always suggest to use the 6160. Installing keypads, you can use up to a maximum of 8 fixed English or alphanumeric keypads, which is going to use addresses from 16 to 23. It can go up to 450 feet of distance using a 22 wire, or up to 1750 using a 16 gauge cable. You can exceed that. You can exceed the 2,000 total in wiring on the ECP bus. And then this is this is a function key that we're talking about. We can program this function key for A, B, C, and D. These are they all have their own zone. So if you're gonna programming, you're gonna program the zone. For example, key number letter A is zone 95. Key letter B is zone 99. Key letter C is zone 96. This is in programming. This all you can programming in the when you enter the programming, like 414112 That's the default historical to go programming. We have another other keypads which they come with additional 4 wire zones built in and 1 relay. This is a 6164 US, and the 6151 is an English keypad, and also built-in hardware zone, and include 1 relay. And you program this as any other 4229 zone expander, you know. Those are the Tuxedo, the AUI keypads, Tuxedo Wi-Fi, the Tuxedo without Wi-Fi. This is the installation, the maximum. Well, you have to, in this one also, you have to address the keypads. You can use 1, 2, 5, or 6. It goes up to 150 maximum cable running for the installation. These are all different characteristics of the installation. We're going to see, this is a little table of all the devices, all the address they use, that the accessories use. As we can see, the RF receiver, which is the 5800 receiver, what we saw before, you always use address 00, and then the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, and 6 are for the touch screen for the Tuxedos. So we use it for the Total Connect. And then from there, we got the zone expander, which is 7 through 11, the relay modules from 12 to 15, and the keypads from 16 to 23. We can use up to 8 keypads on these Vista panels, right? We always start with addressing the keypad, the first keypad, which is going to be in address 16. The way you do it, when you turn on, you set up your keypad, you run the cable to the ECP bus, and then you turn on the power, and the first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna press 1 and 3 at the same time, and it's gonna give you this in the first 50 seconds of turning it on, and then you gotta change the address and put 16, and then press the start key, and then it's gonna save it. This is the first thing you do, and then from there you can just program your panel, right? This is for the 6160. This is for the 6150 RF, which is a keypad with wireless receiver at the same time. It's a wireless receiver at the same time, and this is the way also you program at the very beginning. You press 1 and 3 in the first 50 seconds. And it's going to show you the little zeros and 2 dots, and then you press 1, and then you press your address, your keypad 16 or 17, and then after you communicate, after it's installed, then you can communicate it with the Vista, right? This is some programming mechanisms. Like for example, the installer code, it's always 4112 plus 800 by default. That's your installer code. Then later on you can change it, and then to get into programming and to get out of programming, you use the let me see here. Yeah, this is a different ways to get into the programming and get out. For example, the 49. That's how to get into the programming. You use code plus 4112 plus 800, and to get out of the programming, you use star 99. There are different ways to get out of programming, which is star 98, which prevents the re-entry into the programming mode using the installer code. What it means is some technicians, they don't want nobody to touch your panel anymore after the installation, so they get out of programming with star 98. And then when somebody else come and try to re-enter the programming, they're not going to be able to, because they lock it. And the only way to unlock this, it's like he says downstairs, you turn off your panel and then you turn it on again, and in the first 30 seconds, the first 50 seconds, you press the star and pound buttons, and then you're gonna bypass everything, and then you're gonna go straight to the programming mode. That's the only way you can get into programming mode. If somebody get out of programming mode using star 98, right? But in the normal way, you just get in with your installer code 4112-800, and you get out with star 99. Also, if you're gonna default the panel, you use star 97. Usually we recommend using that if you don't know where the panel coming from, or it's not a new panel, somebody gave it to you. What you gotta do, you gotta like wipe the whole thing, so erase all the programming that was there before. And the way you do it is with star 97. You press star 97, you press 1, and then start, and then it's gonna beep. The panel is gonna beep 3 times, beep beep beep, meaning that you wipe it. Now it's new, brand new. Well, it's new. The memory is flash, so you can start doing your programming by your programming now, right? 96, star 96 is to erase also if this panel was used before and it was sending signals to a central station, so it has some information of the account number of the other owners. With star 97, you flash it and then you wipe it too. Those are the main ways. They recommend commands that we always use at the beginning of any installation. Reset the panel, and then how to get in, how to get out of the programming. These are different locations of the programming. Delays and timing is from command number 31 to 96. Communication is it's on 29, and from 40 to 55. The reporting for the central station is from 59 to 69, and from 70 to 76. And there is also a miscellaneous options. Those are commands that you run it from getting into the programming. 4112 plus 800. That's the installer code by default. Like for example here, that's where you change. If you want to change your installer code, you go in programming command number 20. By default, it's 4412. If you want to change it, you put 4 digits, and then you press start, and this is how you change it. This is all different options, so we're not going to see it because we don't have time. All the different options in the programming. Command 21, 22, 23, 26. These are the exit and entry delays of the alarm that you program. For example, the exit delay, how many minutes you're gonna leave for the panel. They're gonna leave you. The panel is gonna give you several some seconds so you can get out without triggering the alarm. That's where you program the exit delay in command 34, entry delay number 1, command number 35, the delay number 2, entry delay number 2 is in command 36, right? These are the communication programming. That's where you put all the, if this panel is going to communicate with the central station, that's where you put all the information, the phone number, the account number, etc. This is where, if you're going to use a touch screen or Tora Connect, that's where you enable the keypad for them. If you're going to use address number 1, you just put number 1 in the first one, then the other one 000. If you're going to use address number 2, then the first one is 0, 1, 0, etc. Right? This is where you set up your command, and it's on command 189. From command 190 to 96, that's where you set up your, if you're going to use more than one keypad, that's where you enable the other keypads, because you're going to give you the address and enable. This is programming zone. This is a list of the programming zones. The most common ones, the entry delay number 1 is zone number 1, type number 1, entry delay exit 2 is type number 2, and so on. You're gonna, when you start programming, you're gonna see all different type of zones. Right? These are programming zones. This is response type. This is for the key fob. We use this zone for the key fob. Zone number 20, 21, 22, 23. This is how you program. We're gonna go real quick on this. You go programming to the programming mode 4112-800, and then you go start command 56, start 56, and then it's gonna show you different options. If you're gonna ask different questions, the first one is set to confirm. You say no or yes. If you put yes, usually it's for the wireless zones. It means that you're gonna confirm at the end of the programming. You're gonna confirm it. So the wireless is gonna communicate with the panel. If not, it's gonna ask you for the zone number. You put the zone number 1, 2, 3. It give you a little. Then it gives you a little summary. Depending if it's hardwire or wireless zone, you're gonna give you RF for wireless or AW for AW is for when you use an expander, and EL is for another live resistance, right? Then you're gonna ask you for the zone type. You put the number of the zone type. For example, in this case, perimeter. They're going to ask you for the partition. Put partition 1, 2, or 3. The report code, always 01. Hardware type, another line, which is 0. If you're going to double it, you're going to put 3 here. Response time, always we use number 1. 350 milliseconds, which is normal. They're going to give you another summary then. Program alpha, it means like if you're going to put a name on the zone, instead of your keypad telling you there's a trouble in zone 1 or 2, you just can put like front door, exit door, or garage, etc. This is how you do it. We're not going to go over this right now. And this is for the wireless devices. When you put a wireless device, the input type is going to be number 3. It's going to ask you for the serial number. All wireless devices has a serial number, and there's 2 ways you can program. Either you type in the serial number, which is always in a sticker outside the device, and then you put the loop number, or you trigger the wireless device twice, and it's going to beep, and it's going to automatically, the panel is going to get the serial number automatically. It's going to show you on the screen. You're going to make sure it's the same serial number, and then you put the loop number, and the second, when you trick the second time, it's going to put automatically the loop number, and then you press start, and then you save it. Again, this is if you're going to here, if you're going to put a name on the zone. In this case, no, we're not going to put it in the zone. When you finish programming all your zone, you put 00, 00 to quick, like it says right here, 00 to quick, and then you out of there. This is basically, this is a little, here I am showing you a little bit how Compass work, how you can program using Compass. This is for the different zones. Instead of remotely, you can configure it. Instead of going to the place, you can, from anywhere place, you connect to the panel through the communicators that we just spoke about it, and then you just put the MAC address in Compass, and then you remotely connect to the panel. That's how it looks like. You, for example, in here, you're gonna choose zone number 9, entry exit number 1. It's gonna be RF. It's gonna be a wireless supervisor, and then here you go how you put the name and the loop and the serial number. Everything remotely. 57, function 57 is just to program that we saw before, the buttons on the left side, the A, B, C, D, which each one use a zone, 95, 99, 96. We saw this already. And this is the users. The user level that this panel has. Level number 1, I mean the installer. Always user number 1 is installer. User number 2 is the master. Those ones you can use starting from user number 3 to 48. You can change it. But the first two is not. You can do anything. You can do any changes of those two users. This is the authority levels. We have like 4 authority levels: 0, 1, 2, 3, or 5. I'm sorry, 5. And level 0 is the user. Level 1 is the arm only, so it's only the user is only gonna arm the system. It can disarm the guest, the rest, and the partition master. Those are the 5 different security authority levels on the users. This is how you add a user code, delete a user code, different shortcuts. How you assign the attribute to the users, depending on the authority level. This is common user code procedures. How to change the master code. How to add a user code. For example, to add a user code, you go master code plus 8 plus the 2G of the user code plus the user code. This is how you add a user to the panel. And how you delete it, same thing. But at the end, you press the pound plus 0. And finally, how you set up the real code. Remember, this panel has you can have a real-time clock to just enter the installer code or the master code plus pound plus 63, and it's going to give you in the display the time date of the panel at that moment. So you change it, because it's going to give you like 12:00 a.m. You change it by putting the right time and the right date. And then at the end, when you finish, you press the start key and you save it. This is everything for VISTA20, which is also very, very similar as a VISTA21AP as a VISTA40ALA. Okay, so, well, just thank you very much for everybody for attending this webinar about VISTA20P.